everyone, and welcome back. If you are new here, my name is Paula. I am a certified wholeness coach, speaker, author, and founder of Beautifully Made. And welcome. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about flowing with Holy Spirit. And something that I want to share with you is this. Doing the good thing doesn't always mean that you're doing the right thing. When we talk about walking in purpose, when we're talking about living life according to the will of God, you have to understand that there are going to be good things that come your way. There are going to be good opportunities, good connections, good offers, right? Good, again, opportunities that may come to you, but you have to learn how to flow with Holy Spirit. You have to learn how to consult God. You have to learn how to welcome Holy Spirit and His guidance into every area of your life. Because what I've found is that we make mistakes feeling like, okay, it's good for me to go on a missions trip and go serve children who need to hear the gospel. It's a good thing for me to take this teaching opportunity that has come along. It's a good thing for me to make this connection and partner with this organization. It's a good thing, right? And so we have all these good things, but is it the right thing? Are you in the will of God? That's the question I want you to ask yourself when you think about opportunities and things that come your way. Is this in the will of God for my life? And the only way that you're going to know that is to ask. The only way that you're going to know that is to ask Holy Spirit to lead and guide you. That is what Holy Spirit does for us. He is our guide. He guides us along the right path. What Holy Spirit does is He takes the guesswork out of everything, right? You no longer have to wonder if it's the right path to go on, because if you consult Holy Spirit and you wait for His answer, He will always lead you in the right way. He's always going to lead you to truth. So I want to give you a few tips to help you flow with Holy Spirit. And the first tip is be quick to listen and slow to speak. You do not have to respond immediately to every opportunity that comes your way. Take the time to pray. Take the time to seek God and ask Him, is this for me? Do I need to go through this door? Okay. I want to give you an example that just kind of came to me as I'm recording this, to be honest. And it was in 2017, I believe it was. And I stepped out on faith and I quit a job that I was working. And I did not have another job that was lined up or anything. Like, I didn't have another job lined up. So I was applying to different things. Now I applied for a position to be like a personal assistant. So I was working out of somebody's home, being her personal assistant for her business. And I applied for it, went to her home, interviewed, everything, you know, the whole thing, right? And she offered me the position and I accepted the position. After I accepted the position, Holy Spirit said, this is not where you're supposed to be. Now, there was nothing wrong with her. There was nothing wrong with, you know, her business. Like, nothing crazy, nothing out of the ordinary was going on from what I could see. But Holy Spirit said, this is not, no, it's not where you're supposed to be. And I had to go to her and I had to say this, that I'm not supposed to be here. And it was a very hard emotional conversation. But had I invited God in from the beginning, I would have saved my time, my resources, her resources, right? But it was a learning opportunity. It was a learning opportunity. And although she offered me the position, I did not invite God in. And so I had to kind of, do damage control after the fact, right? So be quick to listen for the voice of God and slow to speak. The second tip I want to give to you is to check your heart. I think I've talked about this in several videos, is checking your heart. Is what you're doing for the glory of God or for the glory of yourself? And sometimes we get into a space where, we are gaining momentum, we're gaining exposure, right? And so, opportunities and connections and things are coming our way, and we're just grabbing. We're just grabbing. And we lose sight of the fact that, wait a minute, it is God who has elevated me. It is God who has given me this platform. It is God who has allowed me to connect with women and who has drawn women to this content. Whatever the case may be, we have to remember it is God who puts us in those positions, right? And the same God that elevates us is the same God that can humbly bring us back down and send a reminder like, hey, wait a minute, just in case you forgot, I did all this. I'm the one that blessed you. I'm the one that grants you favor. I'm the one that gives you grace and mercy. I'm the one that's anointed you to do this. Right? And so we have to check our hearts and make sure that we're doing what we're doing for the glory of God and not for the glory of ourselves. The third tip is to be intentional about spending time with the Lord. How can you effectively follow a voice that you don't know? Just like any relationship that we have on earth, we spend time with a person, right? We spend quality time. We're getting to know them. We're doing different activities. We're, hearing them and listening to them and getting to know their personality and how they think. And all of that contributes to the building of a relationship. And the same thing goes for God. The same thing goes for our relationship with Him, right? We have to spend time with God. We have to spend time in His presence. Now, God is all around us all the time, right? And so His presence is always with us. But there are times when we are shutting out everything else, and it's just us and the Lord. It's just us and Him. It's just us and His word. And we are listening for His voice. When you get into the presence of God and you give God your time, God will be with you. God will honor that, right? And you will begin to learn Holy Spirit, and you'll begin to flow with Holy Spirit, right? And the last tip that I want to give you is to submit all things to God. Whatever comes your way, submit it to God. Whatever opportunity, submit it to God. Whatever connection, submit it to God. Whatever idea that you get, submit it to God. Whatever it is, submit it to the Lord, and He will guide you. He will guide you in the right direction, right? And God is so gracious that He does not force His will on us. But the truth of the matter is that the will of God for our life is better than anything that we could think of in our mind. It doesn't matter how popular we get. It doesn't matter how much exposure we have. It doesn't matter how many followers, whatever it is. None of that compares to the will of God for our lives. None of it compares to the path that God has set before us. And I want you to remember that there is a path that the Lord has set before you. And when you submit all things to Him, God leads you along that path. And sometimes things don't look the way that we think they should. Sometimes opportunities don't turn out the way that we hoped for. And that's the truth. And sometimes it hurts. And sometimes, we just don't understand. And we're like, God, I don't understand. I remember in my own life interviewing for a job at Coca-Cola headquarters. Interviewed twice, and I didn't get it. And I was hurt. But I was going after that job for the paycheck. I was going after that job because I had just moved into my home and I knew that I needed more money, and where I was working at the time was not making it work in the paycheck. And I'm like, well, I got to get something else. And the only reason why I went after that job at Coca-Cola is because of that yearly salary, right? And I didn't get it, and I was hurt by that. But you know what I realized is that I don't know what that job would have come with. I don't know the stress or maybe the time. I don't know, right? It could have been a situation where the time that I needed to work on the ministry, the time that I needed to record content, I would not have had it because of the demands of that job. Who knows what God was protecting me from, right? And so we have to understand the importance of flowing with Holy Spirit and understand who Holy Spirit is. And know that He is our God, that He is never going to lead us astray. And the best thing is, like I said in the beginning, is that He takes the guesswork out of everything. You don't have to try to strive and figure out the answer, because Holy Spirit dwells within you. And if you don't have if you don't know the voice of Holy Spirit, if you're struggling to hear God, be honest, tell that to God and ask Him to help you to hear His voice. All right? So flow with Holy Spirit, sis. Flow with Holy Spirit, and know that He will always lead you in the right way. All right? Thank you, ladies, so much for joining me, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.